hello there. Welcome to class. I'm Miss Faust. Please make sure you have paper out and a pen or a pencil. Yes, you need to take some notes. No, we're not starting another writer. This is it. We are finishing with who is the poet? Who's the poet? Yes, Cher knows. Very good. That's it. She is the very last one, as I told you last class session. So don't worry. But I'm going to go over the poem, the highlights. So you may want to take notes. I actually recommend taking notes. It is good practice, and you never know. Those notes may come in handy. So are you ready? You have paper out? You got your pen out? Your pencil? Fantastic. I'm ready to begin. Okay? I'm ready. So let me get my notes. What I want to share first is some information. Okay, so you read his Stillness, okay, by Sharon Olds. Were you able to figure out who the speaker is? Yes, it's actually Olds herself. Now remember, a lot of her work is autobiographical. Remember I told you that people make all sorts of wonderful topics for her. You know, that relationship with her parents is sort of not so great. Even her children, and then her ex-husband. Anyone that she comes across, anything that interests her, yes, she turns it into a topic. So yes, this is all about something that she's really close to. Actually, I should say someone she's really close to. The topic she's close to, it has to do with upcoming death, doesn't it? Okay, namely her father's death. Okay, so we're at the end of his life. Remember, I also told you that his Stillness, and this was toward the end of the class session, is one of numerous father poems. So she has a volume full of father poems. You know, all the different steps throughout their lives together, yes. And she didn't really have a fantastic relationship with her parents, especially not with the father. He was an alcoholic. So there were issues, okay? So we are nearing the end of his life. So his Stillness is a very appropriate title, wouldn't you say? So what I want to share with you is some information about the stages of grief, according to a woman named Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Okay, there are 5 stages that people go through, okay, when, you know, the grieving process. Okay, so prior to death, a person goes through 5 stages of grief. Stage 1 is known as denial. You just can't think, no, there's no way, it's okay. No, this isn't true, it's not happening, I'm not dying. Okay, all right. And the people around that person say the same thing. No, he's my dad. No, he's a strong man. No, he's going to live at least 40 or 50 more years. You know, he's got to be around to see my grandchildren grow. You know, okay. The person will go through shock and disbelief. Stage 2 is anger. Again, take notes. So we're talking first stage is denial. Stage 2 is anger, which is self-explanatory. You can figure out, no, they get really upset. Some get really physical about it. There's just anger, and they verbalize it, and they're okay, flailing all over the place. Stage 3 is particular for bargaining or yearning. You bargain. Please God, let me live a few more months, or you know, please God, let Dad live. You know, because it can affect. It's not just the people surrounding the person that is maybe passing away. It's also the person who's going to. I mean, you go through that stage. I mean, even, the person is going through these. He may not be grieving for his own passing in that sense, but he still can go through that. Because we all want to live a long, long, happy life, right? 80, 90, 100. And now we're living to over 100. It's amazing. You know, people who live to be 118, it's like, wow. How'd you do that? Okay. The person will beg for another chance or weep about losing a loved one. Okay? So yes, I need Dad to be around to see me graduate with my my PhD. I've got to have him around. Okay. And dad's going, yeah, let me be around for my daughter. Let me be there for her when she graduates. Okay. Stage 4 is depression. It has become more common in America with death. During depression, it's possible to lack energy, develop poor sleep habits, have no concentration, go through strong emotional bursts, and create bad eating choices. Okay. So again, obviously this is the grieving process. It's the people surrounding the ones passing. But the one passing can go through a number of these, like the anger, the denial, the bargaining, even the depression, if I get that out. Okay. And then here, stage 5 is accepting that death is coming and physically letting go. What stage is Sharon Olds' father in? Yes, stage 5. Exactly. He's at that point where he's accepting death. And she's at that point too. Or at least she's learning to accept it. Okay. If you have questions about these stages, very interesting information, very important, in understanding our poem. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let's do the poem. Okay, we have one long, I guess you can just call it a stanza, one long poetic paragraph. Again, his stillness tells you a lot. He's quiet. Someone is very quiet, and then this is Olds' father. She's talking about him, and as I said, he drank a lot. So that made the relationship a little tough, fraught with difficulties, shall we say. So, the doctor's coming to the father because the father's dying. In case you're wondering, okay, what's he dying from? He was dying from cancer. Okay. If I remember correctly. The doctor tells him, you told me to tell you that if there's nothing more that I can do for you, to let you know. Well, I'm at that point. I'm letting you know. So the father, and Olds is there in the hospital in his room with them. This is taking place. The setting is in the hospital room, the father's hospital room. Okay, there's Olds with her father. So he just sits there quietly. His stillness is quite still as he, according to what she knows of him and everything, and seen of him, as he always did. He's given news, and he just sits there quietly. His eyes just don't move. He just sits there. Okay. And she thought, because remember, she knows her father. She may not have spent every day of her life with her father, but she grew up with him. Okay, of course there's years where she wasn't exactly with him, but she does remember that. If he's given bad news, he raves. So he just goes wild. He can become physical or verbal. It's just wild, shaking all over. It's just raving all over the place. Okay. And I had thought he would rave if he understood he would die. She expected him to become very angry. Okay, and to show that physically and maybe verbally. Okay. Wave his arms, cry out, and say, no, this can't be happening, and the like. But he just sits there, and, he's at that stage where he's very thin, okay? And he's in his gown, white gown, and everything, or a clean gown. I'm not sure about the color, but, okay. And he's like a holy man, very sacred. Just sits there like a holy man. Very sacred, very, honorable, and the like. You expect a holy man, is quiet, and just sits there nicely, comfortably. Okay. And the doctor says, well, there are things we can do for you to give you a little bit more time. A lot of patients will want that, and some, like this father, and are just like, no, it's okay. Okay, and he lets him know that we can treat you so you live a bit longer, but we're not going to be able to cure you. It's not curable. Okay. So again, we're stage 5. He's accepting. The father is accepting it, so he's saying, thank you, but yeah, okay. He's just emotionless, and he's just very alone. It's like she's not even there in the room with him. He just sits there, just quiet, like a holy man, very sacred. With the dignity of foreign leader, a dignity very much respectful and honorable. When you think of foreign leaders, and you look when you see them sitting there, the foreign leaders come together, and they're very full of respect and honor. The dignity we're talking about, respect and honor. Okay. And she's sitting with him, okay? And she's thinking to herself, my gosh, this is my father. And he's sitting there so honorable and so respectful, okay? And at the same time, she's saying, my gosh, I really expected him to go and get angry and upset and start screaming and become physical, and they would have to try to hold him down to control the poor man. And I not remember he had always held still and kept quiet to bear things. So it would seem, Oz is saying that he's the kind of man who kept it inside. And at some point it does come out. And she was expecting that. But again, the liquor, a way to keep still. The alcohol helped that pain. Whatever he had that he was holding, and he didn't vent it, let it out, but kept it in there. The alcohol, my goodness, the alcohol helped with that to dim the pain somewhat. Okay. So she's saying to herself, "My gosh, I thought I knew him, but I didn't. I guess I didn't really know my father." She's trying at that point to bond with the man. This is my father, and I'm seeing him, truly seeing him now. I really didn't know the man. I expected him to get angry and to scream and to, just get physical and everything. But no, this is an honorable, respectful man, full of that dignity, equaling honor and respect. Wow, it's a different view of my father. And she's trying to bond in those last moments with him, seeing that all those years they were like that. Now she's trying to get them together in a good way. Okay. I had not known him. My father had dignity. In other words, he had respect and honor. He is full of that. Respect and the key. Dignity is the key here. But when we translate dignity, in other words, try to come up with a meaning, we're talking about a being full of respect and honor. Okay. At the end of his life began to wake in me. Exactly, very much the key in this poem. She's viewing him, truly seeing her father now. That stillness in him. She actually is inheriting that. He is handing it over to her. He's giving her a picture of what she herself can be. In other words, full of, what's the key word? Dignity. Meaning again, honor and respect. One moment. Let me get a little bit of notes. A note here that I wanted to state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect. That's what we mean with the dignity. He is giving her that. Let's see. So, in a moment where he realizes, oh my goodness, I am dying, even in that moment, he can be full of dignity. She is learning that lesson from her father. And he's giving her that power, that strength. Okay. So yes, he is dying. But he still, shall we say, he still has something to teach her, to give her. It may not be his gold watch, but it's something even more important for life. A true life lesson. Strength and power, respect. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else I'd like to share. So what we're saying is, he has accepted his end. Again, stage 5 of the grieving process. Even with that kind of a death sentence, you can still act with dignity. The father is showing her. Okay. So in the end, she's trying very hard to bond. And she's trying to point that out to us. That especially, be close to family, especially in their last moments. Okay. Which sort of segues really nicely to the themes of Olds' poem. Okay? Olds is trying to break down how important it is to have a close relationship with a family member before they die. That's what she's trying to show here. This was my father. Okay? She realizes that he now realizes he has to die. And he's accepted it. And he's handed her that power over, that strength. Here it is. You too can be strong. So she's trying to tell us here, especially when the person is, because I don't know how much longer he lived after this event. Because again, remember, autobiographical. She is, in those father poems, she shares bits and pieces of scenes with the father. So I'm not quite sure how much longer he actually lived after, or he may have been gone already when she wrote all these poems. Okay. So, and then she shares with us this: accepting death and enjoying those last moments we are given is an incredible what? Gift. Okay? Those would be themes of Olds' poem. Yes, those last moments. She's, he's accepted death, and she has to accept that too, that he is going to be gone. And again, he's given her the strength to be able to accept it. Okay. So those last months, it's a gift. Right? Okay. If you should have any questions whatsoever about this poem, because that's basically what we're dealing with. Her relationship with her father, and how, in a sense, it has changed. Because of this alcoholism and the like, their relationship had never been great. But now at the end, when he's ready to go, okay, he has a gift to give her. And she's learning that it's an incredible gift to have those moments. Okay, let's turn to the assignment, which is due today. Okay, what is due today? Namely paragraphs 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. Not just paragraph 1. Please note. So paragraphs 1 and 2. This is your essay topic. Should not be too difficult. You can use his Stillness as an example, because that is an event, but it is a memorable event in Olds' life. Does that make sense? Okay. So what I'd like you to do is this. Discuss a memorable event in your life. Please, nothing too personal. Okay, I don't want something where I'm reading and going, do I really want to, should we really be sharing this with the teacher? Okay. Nothing too personal, okay. You can talk about your first bike. You can talk about meeting a cousin you never even knew you had. Okay, or your best birthday ever. Or your first friend, your first day of kindergarten. Okay. So memorable means something obviously that we keep up here for. It seems like it's never going to leave us. It is just so full of great memories. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay. All right. Please remember the PA formula. Don't forget that. And then reflect on your life. Think about your life to determine a memorable event. And then come up with 3 reasons why that event is memorable to you. That's the point. I need to know why. So you need to have 3 reasons. What are the 3 reasons for why your first day of kindergarten was so memorable? Maybe you met your best friend on that day and whatever. Okay? Let's see. So the focus for this is on why. Why is this event so memorable to you? And you can understand with his Stillness why that was memorable to Olds. Because she saw a side of her father that she may not have ever noticed, because the alcoholism, his alcohol, addiction and everything, sort of pushed her away. And he tended to take it in, and I guess she's trying to tell us that he didn't really share some of the pains of his life. Okay, so I want you to remember this essay is about you, not about Olds and his stillness. This essay is about you, and if you can, if it's appropriate, and if there was, you can include dialogue. Okay? And you can notice she does that herself, which is a beautiful detail. It's a nice method, okay, to include. You asked me to tell you when nothing more could be done. Okay? Thank you. There are things we can do, which and so on. Notice the details. She could have just skipped over that and just wrote a regular sentence. And poetically, of course. But it wouldn't have been as detailed. This is more detail. It makes it so much more alive. You want this essay. Yes, it is an essay. Please don't tell me a story about your life. It's not a story. But it's sort of like it's as if it were a story. But it's an essay. Okay, how about this? It's an essay in story form. Will that help you? Okay? So yes, use dialogue. It's great detail. Memorable event. Okay? The dialogue can help use details. Alright? So, her using those kind of details is much more exciting than just regular poetic lines. Okay? Because you want your essay to be alive. Exciting. Yes. Okay. And then I'd like you to answer this. What would it be like if no one had a phone? No smartphones. Oh, my goodness. What would life be like? What would it be like if no one had a phone? Okay. So please remember, paragraphs 1 and 2 are due today. And then please answer this. Okay. Remember, it's all about who? It's all about you. And, folks, I do hope you have a great day. Now, remember, if you have a question about the poem, contact me, please. Till next time, bye-bye.